Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. So, if you're a new parent expecting or maybe just supporting someone who is, you already know the breastfeeding journey can feel, well, a little overwhelming sometimes. Today, we're taking those official outpatient guidelines and breaking them down. We're going to turn clinical advice into clear, actionable steps to build your confidence and help you navigate this incredible journey right from day one. Okay, let's dive right in. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the power of breastfeeding, look at the first 6 months, talk about reading your baby's cues, go over techniques for comfort, and finally, overcoming common challenges.
All right. Section 1. The power of breastfeeding, a shared benefit. This whole journey really starts with understanding just how profound this natural practice is for both of you.
What's really fascinating here is that the medical guidelines frame breastfeeding as a true two-person dynamic. I mean, for the baby, it's pretty obvious, right? Complete nutrition, a supercharged immune system to fight off bugs, and crucial support for brain development and a healthy weight. But it is equally powerful for the mom. It actually helps the uterus recover its normal size after delivery, helps naturally space out pregnancies, and literally lowers the risks of breast and ovarian cancers. Plus, it builds this incredible unmatched bond between mother and child. It's a remarkable shared benefit.
Now, to get those benefits rolling right out of the gate, we've got to talk about colostrum. Think of this as the highly nutritious, ultra-protective first milk your baby gets. The guidelines absolutely stress that early initiation, ideally right after birth, is crucial. Why? Because this first milk is like liquid gold for the newborn's immune system. And when you pair that with immediate skin-to-skin contact, it helps the baby adapt to feeding and naturally regulates their body temperature perfectly. Moving right along to Section 2, the first 6 months, setting the standard. Let's look at the core medical timeline for your baby's earliest days.
So here's how the timeline builds for expecting parents. Soon after birth, the focus is completely on early initiation and that vital skin-to-skin contact. Then, moving into the first 24 hours, you start finding a rhythm, which usually means around 8 to 12 newborn feeds. And from there, looking at the first 6 months, the clinical standard across the board is exclusive breastfeeding.
But, what does exclusive actually mean medically? Well, it means exactly that. Only breast milk. No water, no honey, no formula, unless, of course, your doctor specifically advises it. The guidelines are super clear on this. They also highly encourage feeding on demand. And hey, don't let that term stress you out. Feeding on demand really just means responding to your baby's natural hunger cues when they happen, instead of staring at a strict clock.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 3, reading your baby's cues, the secret language. Because if we're going to feed on demand, we need to know exactly what to look for before things escalate. This is honestly one of the biggest aha moments for new parents. We naturally tend to think of crying and severe restlessness as the first signs of hunger. But medically speaking, crying is actually a late sign. The real secret is catching those early cues. Things like rooting, turning their head towards you, sucking their little fingers or lips, or just opening their mouth a lot. If you can catch those subtle hints early, the whole feeding process goes so much smoother and is way less stressful for everyone.
And once you start catching those cues, you'll probably realize you are feeding a lot. And honestly, that is totally fine. The reality is, newborns usually feed 8 to 12 times in a 24-hour period. And here's a big one. Night feeding is totally normal and absolutely essential. So if you're listening to this feeling utterly exhausted, your feelings are 100% valid. Welcome to the Sleep-Deprived Parent Club. But clinically, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. Just remember to continue each session until the baby naturally releases the breast.
Let's shift gears to Section 4, techniques for comfort, for both of you. We know the why and the when. Now let's talk about the practical side of making this comfortable and sustainable day to day.
Let's take that clinical advice and break it down into simple, actionable steps for a proper, pain-free latch. Step 1. Keep the baby comfortably close to you. Step 2. Make sure the baby's whole body is facing you so they aren't twisting their little neck to feed. And Step 3. Ensure they take a good amount of the breast into their mouth, not just the nipple. Getting this positioning right is absolutely the foundation for avoiding discomfort. But comfort goes both ways, right? Taking care of yourself is just as vital to successful breastfeeding. Sit or lie down in a totally relaxed position, alternate the sides you feed on, and wear comfortable clothes. Oh, and don't forget to burp the baby if they need it. Also, what you use to fuel your own body matters immensely. Maintaining a balanced diet, drinking tons of fluids, resting whenever you actually can, and seeking out emotional support, these are all core medical recommendations. You literally cannot pour from an empty cup.
That brings us to our final segment, Section 5.
Overcoming common challenges. You are not alone. It's so important to validate that difficulties do happen, but we have clear, effective solutions for them.
If you are a new parent, I guarantee you've looked at your newborn at least once and thought, wait, is my milk really enough? I want to pause here because clinics everywhere say this is practically the #1 worry they hear.
So let's take the guesswork and the anxiety completely out of it. It's actually a basic biological system of supply and demand. Frequent feeding is exactly what increases your milk supply. And how do you know it's working without a measuring cup? It's simple. Regular weight gain and your baby going through plenty of wet diapers. Those are the absolute best clinical signs that your baby is getting exactly what they need.
But what about the hurdles on mom's side? You might be wondering, what if I experience pain, heaviness, or, have to return to work? This is such a crucial question for those practical, day-to-day logistics.
The crucial point here is that adjusting your techniques and understanding safe storage can solve most of these common issues. For example, breast pain or heaviness usually clears up with regular feeding and proper positioning, just going back to those physical adjustments we talked about earlier. And for working moms, you can absolutely safely express and store your milk in clean containers. Just one golden rule: when you're getting it ready, gently warm the stored milk. Never ever boil it, so you don't destroy all those incredible protective nutrients.
Now, breastfeeding is totally natural, sure, but that doesn't mean it's always perfectly intuitive. If your baby isn't feeding well, isn't gaining weight, or is crying persistently after feeds, or if you're having breast pain that simply won't go away even with repositioning, it's time to seek professional help. The same goes if you're just continually worried about your milk supply. Reaching out to a doctor or a lactation expert when these specific things come up is a sign of confidence and proactive parenting. It is definitely not a failure.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this thought. How will embracing this knowledge, asking for help, and securing that emotional support transform your breastfeeding journey into a truly confident, empowering experience? It's a remarkably safe, highly beneficial practice, but it's the right support, the right information, and your own confidence that truly drives success. You are equipped, you are fully capable, and you are never alone on this path. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope this gives you the clarity you need to embrace this amazing journey.